Meet Jay Kiesling, a synthetic biologist, part genetic engineer, part molecular biologist, part chemist. He's the chief executive officer of the new joint Bioenergy Institute.
If you think about a plant, it's really sugar that makes up a large fraction of the plant, maybe half of the plant material. What we're trying to do is break that plant cell wall back down into sugars and then take the sugars and turn them into fuels. Very simple process. Through the centuries, we've cultivated microbes to turn sugars into ethanol. Ethanol is not the best fuel. We'd like to produce molecules, fuels, that look like the 91 octane, for instance, that you put in your gas tank. But microbes don't produce them naturally, so we have to trick them into doing this.
In order to redesign a microbe, changing it so it eats sugars and excretes fuel, synthetic biologists like Kiesling use two methods: metabolic engineering and directed evolution.
In our bodies, we take in sugar, and that sugar is then turned into protein and fats. Metabolism is the chemistry that takes that sugar and turns it into proteins and fats. Metabolic engineering is engineering that chemistry that naturally goes on inside the cell to try to change it to get it to do what you want it to.
Synthetic biologists build a new microbe almost the way you might build a machine. They recombine genetic parts so that the resulting new microbe excretes the desired material.
We can reuse those parts for many purposes for engineering biology, making a fuel, making a cheap drug, making a chemical.
But this kind of direct metabolic engineering can only take you part of the way. To go the rest of the way, they use a process called directed evolution.
In directed evolution, you evolve the cell. You don't know specifically what change you want to make, but you force the cell to make mutations in the gene, and then you find the cell that does the correct mutation that you want. With evolution, you've got to screen through millions of solutions to find the right one. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, if you will. We tend to use directed evolution and metabolic engineering together. You recombine the parts and you get 90% there with metabolic engineering, and then we use evolution to fine-tune it. And the combination of the two actually works extremely well.
In a fermenter like this, Kiesling's engineered microbes eat simple sugars and excrete biofuel. It's only a beaker full of product, but it is a start. And if all goes according to plan, a small fermenter like this might someday be scaled up to become the heart of a biofuel refinery. Still, all the biofuels news isn't rosy. Some recent studies suggest that creating biofuels from plants can actually increase greenhouse emissions when the clearing of land and cultivation are taken into account.
I don't think there's going to be a single solution to the energy or transportation problems in the United States and the world. You know, the 10% solutions, if you have 10% solutions, well, now you've solved 100% of the problem.